I started the show this morning just right out of the box at 6 o'clock, and I was making reference to Dallas when I said, oh, my God, I just did this show. I don't want to do it again. I just can't imagine if I'm having the emotional reaction to it all the way I am, that this weight, this almost emotional fatigue, I can't imagine what you guys in law enforcement are feeling today.
It's tragic. We see it for exactly what it is. We often feel like the public, for going on with their own lives or not really, caring to some degree, we also feel like they're just a little bit behind the learning curve with the understanding of what we see and feel every day. But I think that everyone's getting it now. I think that everyone is starting to understand what we feel. Sometimes people say that we are prophetic, that we say things are going to happen before they happen, and then they do. It's because we have the pulse on the community. We have our finger on their pulse. We know what they're saying and doing, and it's becoming so obvious that the average American who goes along about his life and doesn't really get involved in anything, they know now.
Sergeant, the first thing you said, we see it for what it is. So tell me, what is it?
It's anarchy. All right. What we've got trained militants who are hiding behind the legitimate protest and campaigns of a group. And in the military, we called it pop, smoke, and go. They used to throw a smoke grenade and run behind the smoke to get a more tactical advantage to where we could do what we needed to do. And that's what's happening. The entire racial issue is being used as a smokescreen for people with the intentions to kill police officers. And everyone has to stop and get involved in stopping that. Regardless of where you're at on the issue of police shootings and things like that, I challenged someone yesterday. I said, tell me the last Hispanic male who was killed by a police officer in the United States. And they just kind of looked at me and said, no, tell me his name. And they just looked at me. And I said, do you understand what I'm saying? I said, it's really not police shootings that's the issue. There's a racial issue here, and everyone's trying to acknowledge it. And everyone's trying to show empathy and do concern. But at the same time, they're losing their credibility because they're being flanked by a militant-type mentality, and people are using their events, their rallies, their issues to kill police officers. And that's got to stop. Everyone's got to be mature enough to stop the conversation. And that's emotional maturity is what it takes, to stop the conversation long enough to say, wait a minute, this is not what we're doing this for. This is not what we're about. We've got to come back under the rule of law, and then we'll get back to our point. We'll get back to making our issue known.
Michael Carter with the Shreveport Police Association. The president, the sheriff, all said yesterday, we can and must do better. What do they mean by that? What do the police can do better? What do they mean? What do you hear when you hear them say that?
8 police officers within a triangle here in Shreveport are dead. I don't see how they could do much better. They're running towards rifle fire with handguns. They're protecting the people who are protesting against them. Baton Rouge had all but calmed down, but we had this one wingnut who rents a car with military training and goes to Baton Rouge with the intent to kill police. All right? If anyone from the president all the way down suggests that the police can do better, I want them to get a gun and get a badge and step out into a patrol car and start getting it done. I am so tired of hearing these experts. I've got 24 plus years of experience. I'm an educated man. I want to see them come out here and train me and show me what I can do better. Let me tell you something. I'm not in the mood for political debate, and I'm not going to play their political games.
How do we root out the wingnuts, as you call them, though?
They know who they are. Society knows who they are. We know who they are. You got to develop a place in an asylum for people like this. There is not a place for them right now. Right now, they draw a check. They live in a garage apartment. They do what they want to do when they want to do it. Nobody wants to deal with them. But when they start twisting off, it's the police that's expected to have all the answers. That's not our job. It's not our job to make sure someone gets their pills or their treatment or their issues are addressed. Someone else in society is going to have to step up and step forward with the funding of the government and say, this is our job, this is our role. We can't just keep putting masking tape over this with the police.
Michael, we got just about like 90 seconds here. Given Dallas, given Baton Rouge, how do those two incidents affect the way law enforcement officers view their jobs now?
We have to go tactical. Everything we do has to be tactically minded. That is not your everyday community policing. Hello, how are you? Shaking your hand. Here we are. You're going to see us with long guns in our hands. You're going to see us carrying shotguns more. You're going to see us talking less. You're going to see us shaking less hands. We're going to do everything against the normal community political model that you would like to have. And you know why? Because we intend to stay alive.
Because you can't afford to take chances anymore, and everything's a chance.
We're not going to take those chances. And if we appear rude, if we appear hostile, then everyone is going to have to take a deep breath and understand there's so many more people in our city than there is police officers. There's so few of us, and the few of us we have, we're going to protect one another.